Good morning, this is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to Season 3 and episode, I am going to guess, 234 of the Eager Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Yeah. For those listening at home, we're still a little behind on putting the shows up, but don't worry, we will get that to you very soon, and we appreciate your patience. Today, recording day, is Monday, October 23rd, 2023, and I think it's going to be a beautiful day here at the Beaver Lodge. The sky looks like it'll be really nice. The sun's just coming up, but it doesn't seem to be a cloudy day, and I can actually see some glow from the sun, so hopefully it'll be a nice day, because it's been gray and cold and rainy for the last little bit here, and I actually had a scarf on earlier because it was un poco frío aquí al Beaver Lodge. Welcome to Fantasy Island. I am Mr. Ro. It's a little cold here at the Beaver Lodge. All right. Thank you goes to our podcast founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. We have a Monday morning bite for you. But before we do anything else, let's say hello to our dear friend, the one, the only, the furry Mr. Grizzly, and ask him, how is your mental health doing today, sir?
Well, good morning, Mr. Beaver. I think my mental health is okay. It must be. I didn't wake up hating myself, so I think that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty good start. And looking out the window, we've got some sunshine rising and clear blue skies that I haven't seen in about 5 days, I guess. I'm not quite sure. So yeah, I'm happy about that because I needed some sunshine in my life again. I was getting a little bit, sad. And I mean seasonal affective disorder, not bummed out.
Yes. Yes.
Wake up in the dark, go home in the dark.
On your image, the sky is way brighter. The sun is not that up in our neighborhood as it is in yours.
Yeah. Well, I am a little higher up, right? So
yeah, but interesting. Cool. Oh, good morning to all the kids here. Kit Linda M, Kit Cassie, Kit Tavi G, Kit Saucy Sea Witch, sleeping like a log while the other two are finishing getting ready for school. Kit Jillian, Kit Elaine. Let's see what else. Oh, yes, Cassie. Yes, snow in the forecast for you guys tomorrow. And I believe Alberta has already gotten some.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, if I was an evangelical preacher, I would say that that's God's punishment for having voted in Danielle Smith. But I'm not. So I won't. but I'm thinking it.
Did you see the comment yesterday from our friend David Wallace?
Depends which one. He was busy yesterday.
Yeah, he was busy.
Yes.
David Parker is about to find out.
Oh, I hope so.
He's such a shitbag.
And was it Max Fawcett or something? I know, or maybe it wasn't Max Fawcett, but somebody had put out a thing. You ever notice that David Parker always criticizes other people's follower accounts? David Parker's got about 4,300. Max Fawcett's got 42,000. Like it's almost 10 to 1. It's like, you're nobody, you don't have. And I mean, I'm guilty of that too. But usually when I do it, like this, as I've checked someone's profile first, I see they've been online for 10 years and have 12 followers. So about an average of one a year, because they have things that are so interesting to say and they are so pleasant to deal with. And they're usually from nowhere. And it's not a real name. And there are numbers after the @ all the things that you look for, right? So then it's like, well, yeah, low follower account tweeting like a low follower account would be expected to tweet. Yawn, click, goodbye, right? But there are some people that are just low follower accounts, right? So you got to check the profile and you read a couple of tweets and you get a feel for the thread, and like this, they're pretty obvious, the ones. But to just say, I'm on the playground and you got me and I can't think of anything to say, so nobody listens to you anyway.
I see that all the time.
What are we, 3?
Seriously.
What are we, 3-year-olds? Come on, guys. Jeez. Oh, man. Good morning, Kit Dan. Dan, I saw on Facebook, did you have a birthday this weekend too?
Yes, he did.
I did not know it was your birthday.
Yeah, he was going to try and make it to Ottawa.
Well, that I knew, but I didn't know it was his birthday. So happy birthday, my friend. I hope it was a good one. Yeah. Let's see, Miss Deka, lovely to see you, and thank you so much for arranging for Mateo to make a guest appearance on our podcast. It was so fun to celebrate his birthday. Thank you so much. Kit Hugh, lovely to see you this morning as well. Kit Ellen, and I think that's everyone that we have so far on the chat. So good morning. I hope that you have a good week in store. And yes, Kit Hugh's already in good form. Parker's a grease stain. There we go.
Well, here's how much of a grease stain he is. This was from Friday. Friday morning, he tweeted this. I am told that once again, Rachel Notley is in rehab trying to recover from her crippling alcoholism. As someone who is 2 years alcohol-free, I know the torment of addiction. Despite my disdain for her politics, I hope she gets the help she needs.
Okay, number one.
It's completely fabricated. None of it is true.
Yeah, she was actually, there were images of her like delivering
a speech,
like a great speech, like the very next day, right? And I like that it wasn't like immediately. Like, no, I'm not. Just waited till the next day. Oh, here I'm just delivering this fantastic speech.
So I responded to that.
Oh, gee, I wonder how I managed to be there at the same time.
Well, this is not a retweet of his. It's a screen cap of his tweet. And my response was, "What a cock! An absolute shit gibbon, a cockwomble, a walking, talking skin tag. David Parker is going to push the wrong person too far, and the price he will pay will be very high. He brought this on himself. I've no empathy, compassion, or forgiveness for this man. FA and FO. And it looks like that's about to happen."
All right. Well, I'm interested in hearing how it's about to happen, but let's go through that for a second here. That little message. He's alcohol-free. How did he become alcohol-free? Because if he did it through a program like AA, that thing that he's doing right now
violates the edict of the spirit of the program. Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah, like just a bit, right? When the other day when we were talking about all kinds of unethical, hello. And then how did that start? What were the first few words in that tweet?
I'm told that once
I'm
again.
told that. Oh, you're told that by whom? And how would they know? By whom? And how would that person know deeply personal information about Rachel Notley that she would actually have checked herself into rehab had that been the case? How would they know, and who told you? I am hoping that there is a defamation suit coming. Because I keep on saying it, that's the solution. Every time they lie about you, every time, slap them with a lawsuit. Make it expensive and tie them up in knots. It's the only way they learn.
It's the only way to make them understand, right? Hit them where it hurts, in the wallet.
Kick them in the
It's
billfolds.
the only way they understand.
Yep. I just, Dan, who's David Parker? He is the guy behind Take Back Alberta. He's basically the hand that's up Danielle Smith's back every time she talks.
Yeah, effectively.
Pretty much.
He's the founder and executive director of Take Back.
Sort of a religious zealot in a way, I think, that wants to start off by taking over all the school boards and all that kind of stuff. He also happens to be married to a journalist, I think, Rachel Emmanuel, from the other True North, the one that was True North after we're True North, that claims it's a charity, or at least for a while was. Yeah. So, he's the leader of Take Back Alberta, and his wife is somebody that works with a organization that claims to be a media organization and potentially a charity that is actively trying to sow division and spread disinformation and other kinds of terrible stuff, conspiracy, through the Canadian system, pretty much like is happening in Ontario with Ivana Yelachiu and Brian Lilly. Very similar. It's actually crazy similar how Ontario and Alberta are becoming.
More and more like.
Right? I'm just saying, you got two premiers who've got a hand up their back, who've got scandals galore. I mean, the one in Alberta doesn't know that you don't pick up the phone to call someone who's charged with mischief, potentially causing death or bodily harm, to discuss what they might do. And the other one didn't pick up on the fact that maybe setting up a mini tiny little bureaucracy inside the Minister of Housing's office, so that in 3 weeks, a transfer of, in today's dollars, about $25 billion in public wealth would end up having him in trouble. And speaking about him, he's about to find out too, because he's grandstanding again on interest rates. For some reason, writing to the Bank of Canada again. It's like, honey, you already tried that play last month when Premier Eby wrote the letter, and then Premier Fury also said, and then you guys made a little front. It is, but you're trying it again this month. Why would you specifically, dime store, discount dollar store, dumbass Dougie Donuts, be worried about rising interest rates? Could it be that there's a whole bunch of people that you were associated who now owe money because they took out loans?
Well, $100 million at 20%.
Well, yes. Well, the one at 20%, I don't know if that loan got adjusted with the rising interest rates or not.
20%.
Well, I mean, if they expected to have a quick turnaround, maybe he took it as a variable rate and not the people who did it. So maybe that 20% is different. We don't know what happened behind the scenes. All I know is that a lot of people shelled out a lot of money and took out loans, and interest rates are going up. And there's perhaps just what was it? Somebody told me, what were the words that David Parker used again? Those 3 front words. Anyway, whatever he used, I have it on good authority, or I've heard from, or whatever it is. Anyway,
Something to that effect.
From wherever he's heard that, I've also heard that dumbass Dougie Donuts has remembered how fond he is of his kneecaps.
I'm sure that has something to do with it.
Yeah. So, Yeah, tried the play last month, honey. It's not rerun season. So, and we all know that premiers making calls and pleas to the Bank of Canada has absolutely no effect. It's literally grandstanding. And I
Well,
know you want to make yourself look like you're for the people again because you got both hands in the cookie jar, handing out cookies to all your friends. When you stand in front of the podium and you say, folks, friends, the people that you're actually talking to, not Ontarians. Yeah, all those cookies that went their way. Yeah, well, we caught you. So, I can understand why you want people to think that you care about interest rates now because you're for the people. But we know
well,
you're just for yourself. We see you. We see you.
in other news about Conservative members of Parliament behaving badly, this one from this person is mind-blowing when you consider the leader of her party and what he had attached to his YouTube channel for years. Michelle Ferrari. After 8 years of sunny ways, sexual assaults are up 72%. Women are the primary subject. Canadians deserve safety. We need less victims. Tomorrow I will move this motion in status of Women Committee. I will expect support from all parties on this.
Okay, if sexual assaults were really up 72%, wouldn't it be all over the frickin' news and Michelle Ferrari would not be the first person on the planet from whom we would hear it?
Well, this is the thing. It's like there's nothing in here to support this. Nothing. Also, MGTOW boy, the leader of her party,
Yeah.
was the MGTOW boy for years.
Yeah. Yeah, and they want us to, and she's the one that was holding the camera saying, "Hey, come on, Pearl or whatever his name, let Pierre know how you feel," and that's when he like dropped the Marxist thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not
Yeah.
bath time somewhere in the world where you are, Michelle? Have a soak, chill out a
Acid
bit.
bath.
Jeez, seriously, man, and getting back to this David Parker guy. I mean, come on. And do you see the latest with Danielle Smith, I think, where she says that, all these bad things about media, and this weekend she was at the headliner at an event from the True North.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am just, and then the pension thing. Oh, my word. Okay. When we last left, last week on pension, on Pension Place.
Pension Place, yes. It's much like
Yes.
Peyton Place.
Yes, indeed. Well, we had Danielle issue a report that's not particularly very independent. Just saying. Claiming that, well, she can just up and leave with 53% of everything that's accumulated in the Canada Pension Plan to start off an Alberta Pension Plan.
I thought it was 54.
53, 54, let's say over 50.
Yeah, there
Right.
we go. Yeah.
There we go. If we want to be precise. Then, of course, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows it's ridiculous. I mean, please, Lord, Creator, Allah, Yahweh, whoever, Shiva, tell me she knows this is ridiculous. Okay. And that the purpose of this is really to just lob a grenade, is to say something so ridiculous that, of course, everybody's going to go, what? To draw out the Prime Minister. Because she loves to fight with the Prime Minister and with Guilbeault.
I had a conversation with my buddy Alex about this Friday evening. He's an economist. That's what he does. He's a numbers guy, a finance guy. And he told me how they arrived at that formula, and what he said made sense, but he says, but it still doesn't add up. It still doesn't add up. He said it was also somewhat taken out of context and they ran with it anyway. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, it's completely ridiculous. It doesn't make any bloody sense.
Yeah.
But how they came up with that number, when he explained it to me, and don't ask me to repeat it because it was finance stuff that's beyond me, it made sense. what he
Mhm.
said. He said, but at the same token, it still doesn't add up.
Well, one of the reasons it doesn't add up is because it's a constantly changing number.
Mm-hmm.
Because the last time they talked about it, it was about 25%. And then I believe it is when she had a report commissioned, or somebody had a report commissioned about this, because I think Jason Kenney was talking about that at one point too, or touched upon it. At that point, they said it was 12%.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how we got from an initial report commissioned itself by the party that said that, yeah, it would be 12%, how that doubled to 25 and then that doubled again. Like, come on. It's like we see the number moving over time. I guess, and certainly you didn't. It's certainly not during the period between you had the report that said 12% and the report that said 50% that your share of the pension grew that much.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that was the case, whoever's managing that, I mean, let them run the damn country. They're economic geniuses.
Well,
So,
she really wants to pull out, and here's the thing: if she does, anybody who lives in the province of Alberta is screwed, because that Alberta pension plan that she wants to do, she's going to hand it over to a private company that has done nothing but lost money in the last little while. So they'll squander it.
oh yeah, absolutely. And then when people go to cash in their pensions, well, they'll be empty, dry husks, and of course, she'll be long gone.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
She don't care. So, and then the prime minister sent a letter to
It was
respond to
a
Danielle.
scathing one too.
Yes, he did. And that's, I believe, where things had been left off. Now, we assumed that that letter had a couple of purposes, I guess, not only to respond to Danielle, but to maybe draw out Pierre, because Pierre has been saying nothing about the pensions.
Well, he
Nothing,
did
nothing,
come out in
nothing.
support of the CPP, though.
He did after the letter,
Yes.
the same day. It's like, ooh, wow, that was fast.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, he did come out in favor of the CPP. Now, Pierre.
Well, you know why?
Pierre.
This is my theory.
Okay.
This is my theory. See, because if it's the Alberta pension plan, he can't touch it, because that's not where his constituency is. And if he was the prime minister, it's a federal issue. That's a provincial issue, a provincial plan. But if it's CPP, Canada Pension Plan, a federal program, he can cut that because he sees it as a tax. That's my
Yes.
theory. Tell me I'm
Okay.
crazy.
Possibly. That's, well, I mean, we know you're crazy, but about this, I don't know.
Tell me I'm wrong then. Okay, how's that?
I love
We
you.
all know about the crazy. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't think it's an outlandish theory. I actually think it makes sense. If it's a federal program, he can cut it, and he will.
Which raises a question for Danielle as well. If somebody wanted to be a real dick about it, they can say that, well, since the reason for which Alberta wants to take its APP right now is because the citizens of the province are among the youngest on average, and therefore they feel they're not getting enough out of CPP. It's like, I don't know how you get enough out of CPP if you're not of age to actually draw from it yet. But apparently that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because other provinces have people that are older and they're getting a big, when you add all the CPP that goes to that province, they get more than Alberta. Something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's demographics, clearly. And that's what Quebec did when it didn't join the CPP, because their population was younger. And now the population of Quebec pays higher contribution rates than contributors to the CPP. So were that to happen also in Alberta, once the population ages and conservatives consider pension contributions as payroll taxes, why does Danielle Smith want to increase your payroll taxes? Just asking questions. But getting back to the CPP, yes, he draws out Pierre Poilievre, and Pierre Poilievre tries to do the compliment sandwich thing to Danielle Smith. So he says, the division today, sorry,
The division today on the CPP is entirely the result of Justin Trudeau attacking the Alberta economy. I encourage Albertans to stay in the CPP. As Prime Minister, I will protect and secure the CPP for Albertans and all Canadians by treating every province fairly and freeing Alberta to develop its resources to secure our future. Ah, now give me now where's some wood I can rub up against?
um, okay. Notice how he starts with the division today on the CPP is entirely the result of Justin Trudeau. So, hey, Danny, you hate Justin. I hate Justin. So, how about I soften you up for the news I'm going to give you that I don't approve of your plan? And I actually think it's really stupid by first telling you or letting you bask in our mutual hatred for all things Justin. Now, of course, the division on today on the CBP can't entirely be the result of Justin Trudeau attacking the Alberta economy. Because if you remember in 2016, Justin Trudeau, including with the Premier of Alberta at the time, managed to actually strike this big national deal to secure the CPP. And there's nothing about attacking the Alberta economy that would be fixed, allegedly attacking the Alberta economy, that would be fixed by giving Albertans a share, or not giving, but having Alberta take a share of CPP and start an APP, because the people of Alberta, if they want some relief from something, well, they're not going to get the APP money until they retire anyway. This has nothing to do with any of those types of decisions. Nothing to do. But he encourages Albertans to stay in the CPP. And as Prime Minister, I will protect and secure the CPP for Albertans and Canadians. How? By investing it all in Bitcoin?
Yeah, probably.
Somebody should also ask Danielle. Hey, Danielle, what do you think about investing CPP in APP in Bitcoin? I'm sure she'll say that's probably not a great idea, which stirs a little pot and has Danielle and Pierre fighting again.
Does she know what Bitcoin is? I'm only half joking when I say that.
Okay. And then, so I will protect and secure the CPP once again. He won't do it. I will. Doesn't say how. Doesn't just, I will. It goes, by treating every province fairly. Okay. If there's one thing that we cannot associate with this man is the concept of fair. The guy of the Unfair Elections Act, that all we need to do to fix the economy is kneecap parties, the per vote subsidy. The guy that has a compliance agreement lifetime with Elections Canada because what he did was so bad it could have landed him in court and landed him in jail. An actual deferred prosecution agreement, he has no problem. He has a problem with them when they go to SNC-Lavalin, but he doesn't have any problem with them for himself now, does he? This guy, fair. I will treat every province fairly. Really? Really? Manitoba just went NDP and has an Indigenous premier, and we know what you think about Indigenous people. You made that very clear on the day of the apology now, didn't you? Come on, dude. Nobody in the right mind believes that you're going to treat every province fairly. You are not a fair person.
No, goodness, no.
Let's just, come on. So now we have a situation where Danielle and Pierre are on the opposite ends of something that Danielle really wants to do. And, well, we know that when Danielle wants to do something, she's pretty firm. Isn't she? She has this way of talking when she gets a little fed up, where she does the look thing, and then she talks, or I've answered that question, and then she does that plus thing, but she's got that marm thing that she can turn on when
Smarm?
she wants to. Pardon?
Smarm?
Well, she's got smarm too, but you know, like the school marm when you're cutting up in
I
class,
knew
who gives
I
you?
knew what you meant, but she's
Yeah.
smarmy about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I didn't expect this, let's say, to come as quickly, but it really, really, really did not take much time at all for her to have a response. And, well, the response was sort of like, if I were to paraphrase it, it's like, "Hi, Poodle. Yeah, I see you trying to soften me up with a hey, Justin stuff, and you know what? That's a good move. It almost worked for you, but we have another plan, and we're going to go our own way. So it would be really, really nice if you would fall in line, and if you would like to talk about how you could do that, call me." Which is an interesting plot twist, I would say, because if this movement is supposed to be somewhat united, and well, we've seen from the convoy people that it really actually isn't. But if it is supposed to be united, it seems that Mr. Parker and Miss Smith may be thinking that maybe they are the ones who should be leading this national movement and not PP. Literally, she said, "I appreciate the tone and sentiment expressed by Conservative Party leader Pierre regarding the multiple destructive policies the Liberal NDP coalition have imposed on the Albertan and Canadian economies. As it relates to the Alberta Pension Plan, this is an opportunity Albertans are discussing that has potential to improve the lives of our seniors and workers without risk to the pensions of fellow Canadians. After this broad consultation and discussion are complete, Albertans will ultimately decide whether or not to pursue this opportunity further. We very much look forward to working with Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party of Canada caucus to restore respect for the constitutional rights of provinces to the economic benefit of all Canadians." She told him to go pound sand. Fight, 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 fight. And as for the, after this broad consultation and discussion are complete, Albertans will ultimately decide whether or not to pursue this opportunity further. Don't believe that that's not true, because Albertans are really not for this idea based on public polling. And that will probably piss off Danielle too. So I'm sure that if the polling indicates that the referendum will fail, there'll probably be a reason for it not to be held, or there'll be some trickery with the question, because let's be honest, it's not Albertans who are deciding, it is David Parker who has decided. Let's not pretend that that's not what happened. Right? But ooh, it is juicy. And since journalists are asking people questions, wouldn't it be nice, now that Pierre has come out in favor of the CPP, if some journalists happen to ask him, Monsieur Poilievre, since you say Alberta should stay in the CPP and Danielle Smith is pretty much intent on pulling Alberta out of it, she says that 53% of the funds should go to Alberta. What are your thoughts on that, sir? Fight, 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 fight. Just
Surely
love
will.
those grenades. That letter from the Prime Minister turned out to be quite an effective little grenade.
Well,
I never thought Pierre would answer so quickly, and of course his answer just must have triggered Danielle, because that thing was out seconds.
mhm.
It was like, Oh, she was not. She blew a gasket back in Edmonton, that's for sure.
Well, good. Good.
Conservatives fighting among each other always makes a beaver happy.
Well, we get happy
It's a
beaver,
good
don't we?
day, kitties. Yes, 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 we do like happy beaver. So,
I'm not
wow.
leaning into that one.
I'm putting it right out there for you. You do with it what you will.
Not going to lean in. Just,
And here's the thing. We both know that Danielle Smith doesn't like to be told no, and Pierre has very prosciutto thin skin.
Oh, yes.
Another way I've been sort of stirring the pot is writing to Sarah Fisher and going, Sarah, have you seen this note from Danielle? This sure makes your boy look weak, doesn't it? You just gonna take that?
Mm.
Yes, I'm evil, but I use my powers for good. Oh man, throw him an apple first. No, 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 no. That's assault. That's assault.
It's funny, man.
However, I did
Throw
think
him
of.
an apple, not throw an apple at him. There's a difference.
Okay.
If you throw it
Yes,
at him, that's
throw
assault.
him
If you
an
throw it
apple.
to
Okay.
him,
Yes. Yes.
he can
If
put
he's
it in as
waiting
he's
for
a
the
big pig.
Oh man, but you were saying that send your flip flops. Maybe we should just send our rotten apples.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Hey, kids,
gonna
he
hurt.
wants to know how you like them apples. Why not send him a few apples by mail?
Well, he did say that. How do you like them?
Let's show him. Oh, we love apples here. It seems like you do too. Have some more. Speaking of apples, it seems that Anaida Poliev has gotten back in it again because,
What'd she do now?
oh, well, remember, right? She's all about fashion, isn't she? I mean, she had that little magazine, Pretty and Smart or something, or Pretty Smart or Not Too Pretty Smart or whatever it is that she was. Um, well, it seems that she is returning to her roots. She's gotten into t-shirt design. It seems like we at the Beaver Lodge, she has discovered merch. And it seems that, they think that this Apple thing is just really, really genius. So she has designed a t shirt that has him munching into that apple with the conservative, well, it looks like the conservative logo, but instead of the maple leaf in it, there's an apple with just a blue underline, just to say that they've added some blue there. And it says, "How do you like them apples?" And then on the sleeve somewhere it says something freedom. So he goes,
Yeah, I don't know.
"How do you like them apples? Limited edition. Get yours now. bringhome.ca/products." And of
I
course,
want
well,
somebody skilled, like maybe to cost to do some photoshopping work and change that apple into something else. The one in his hand, that is.
uh,
Let your
so
imagination run wild with what you think I meant by that.
yeah. So yep, she's put that out, and well, the thing is that when she put that out, because of course, if you have merch, well, then you have to market it, right? So she's got all the quality things here. So before they completely sell out, this classic modern fit makes the perfect tee to wear for any occasion. This is a high quality tee made with ancient dyes, no liberal nonsense. Huh? Well, okay, first of all, somebody should ask her to prove that claim. Made with ancient dyes. And it's like, so anything that we've used to dye clothing since ancient dyes, and he discovers, and like, this is all liberal nonsense. That would be science. Would it? I'm confused. Narrow width. Well, that's fitting. Rib collar. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
This too tapered neck. Come, please, girl. Tapered neck and shoulders for comfort and durability. Machine washable. Only available in black, like your souls. This is a one-off limited edition and will not be restocked, like Pierre. A perfect invitation to invite your competition to bring in with cheap knockoffs. And it seems that logo change is official. So it's a C with a maple leaf, and there's just a blue streak on the bottom underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems they've changed their logo yet again.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. They keep trying to reinvent themselves.
She's getting involved. She's getting involved. She's going to be fair game. She is going to be fair game. Wow. They, you know what? I want to say give them. They're trying. I have to say, they are trying, man.
They are giving it the old college try, aren't they?
Yeah. So, as I made the joke on the pubcast, it's like we kind of have a situation where we have the Royal Gala leader of His Majesty's official loyal opposition in a fight with Danny Granny Smith from Alberta over the CPP. Oh, well. By the way, kids, if you would like to send your rotten apples, it's Pierre Polievre, House of Commons, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, K1A0A6. The postal code again, K1A086. Just, if you happen to have some rotten apples lying around, or maybe even not rotten apples, because I mean, if you send them fresh, maybe by the time they get there. I'm terrible today.
Well, remember, kids.
I am terrible today.
Every now and then I'm sure you run across those YouTube short stories of, so had a few drinks the other night and went on Amazon and ordered something silly and I regret my decision. And then they reveal what they bought. I think this is the best one yet. This has to be the best one yet. That's a word of advice. Never buy a dog when you're drunk. It's a calf. Now, I mean, free milk, but
oh my god, I love it. Oh my word.
Well, my favorite one ever was Chris from Call Me Chris, Chris Collins. She did one. She goes, so I was up really late the other night. I might have had some wine and I bought something on Amazon and it showed up today and I'm like, what the hell did I order? And it was a life-size stand-up cutout of Bob Ross. So she has it in the background of all her videos now.
Love it. Ooh, yeah. I see in the chat that Kit Cassie says some good news on the weekend. NHLer Travis McDermott used pride tape on his stick. Take that, Bettman.
Oh, good.
Ooh, nice. And
okay, so hang on a sec. Now everybody's being silly here. Free milk only if, not if it's a boy cow. That's different milk. There are not boy cows. There are bulls and there are cows. There's not boy cows. Free milk only if it's female. Yes, Linda. But there are bulls and cows, not boy cows, not girl cows. There's bulls and cows. Come on, folks. Come on. I have a boy cow. No. You have a bull. There's a difference.
Yep.
And you can make him a steer. A steer is a bull. So if somebody says, we're going to make you a
Yes.
state, run away.
Yes.
Run away.
Run away, run away.
Somebody
Scurry,
says, we're
scurry.
going to make you a saint,
We have
run away. Because you can't be a living
Okay.
saint. Saints are all passed away.
Yes.
Just
So
stop being
stop
so
being so
binary,
binary.
Paul. You're right. Maybe it is a boy cow.
Welcome to the 01 shows with Binary Paul and Infinity Beaver.
You're
He
right.
does the math jokes too. Oh man,
Goodness.
and we have Kitlin M here. I think it's interesting that as this Alberta pension plan nonsense is getting news, we're also hearing that the Senate is examining a universal basic income for Canadians over 17. Yes, indeed, that's a bill that started in the Senate as well.
Mhm.
I think S223 or 233 or something like that. I haven't read up that much on it, to be totally honest. And we know that the city of Waterloo is also brought
They
in.
passed it. Yeah, they're doing it. It's already started there, but it's going. This one's going to happen. I think this time. CERB. It's taken longer than I thought because I thought CERB would have been like the proving grounds to say, hey,
Right.
this is functional. This is workable. We can make this happen. Thank
Yeah.
you, darling.
But I'm really surprised that the initiative is coming from the Senate, not from, because you'd think that the government would want to be all over this. But again, for the people that say the Senate has no value,
The Senate has value.
when they want to, they
Mhm.
can. Right?
Well, who was the champion of Hugh.B.I? Former progressive conservative, the late Hugh Segal.
And that might be a reason.
Yes.
That might be a push, right? Because that man gave to this country.
Yes, he did. And
He did.
a progressive conservative.
And he died
actual
fighting for it.
progressive. Yeah.
He died fighting for it. He left the Senate and then went to like UBI or Fair Income Now or something like this.
Mhm.
But he went to an organization that was lobbying for that. He made that his life's work
Oh yeah, he did.
afterwards. So yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening.
And like Cassie here in our chat, Cassie, who is a proud conservative, progressive conservative. We support progressives, period. This show is about supporting progressives, whether you're liberal, green, NDP, or conservative. If you're a progressive who believes in progressive policies that can help each other,
Yep.
as Premier Canoe said, we'll give you a hand up if you're willing to take it, but you need to do the work. And when I heard him make that speech, it was like, this is Joe Clark conservatism. This is not Ed Broadbent NDP. This is Joe Clark conservatism. We will give you a hand up, not a hand out, which means you have to put in the work. And you're welcome, Cassie. There is a distinction, a tremendous distinction. The Conservative Party of Canada does not exist anymore. It's the Reform Party. It's not progressive at all. And most conservatives I know have been voting NDP the last few elections because they cannot stomach the provincial conservatives in this province. They're like, Doug Ford is just he's just a bagman for different opportunists. I'll leave it at that. But progressives in this country who are also conservative haven't had a party for a number of years now. And I know it's disturbing for them. As everybody knows, I've said on this show many times before, and I'll continue to say it, I have never belonged to a political party, and I never will. I always vote. I'm an informed voter, and I always vote for the best possible candidate in my riding. Yeah. And that's all I can ask you to do. That's all I can ask you to do. Vote for the best candidate in your riding. And if that candidate is a conservative and they're a good person and they really do have progressive policies,
yes,
by all means, cast your ballot for them.
Vote for good people, regardless of stripe.
That's right.
Don't vote for assholes. And you see, that's your way. And mine is like, I'm a member of every party that will have me.
Yeah.
Because I only have to commit for a year. So it's like last year I was a conservative and I voted not Pierre. Right now I'm an Ontario Liberal and I'm probably going to vote not Bonnie because we don't want more real estate stuff. And when that year is over, whatever, if there's a federal or another Ontario leadership, I'm buying a membership too.
Well, I defer to Groucho. I refuse to belong to any party that would have me as a member.
I'm a serial political monogamist.
I was paraphrasing Groucho, by the way. Groucho, as in Groucho Marx, he used to say, I refuse to belong to any club that would have me as a member. I refuse to belong to any party that would have me as a member. It means you've dropped your standards if you've allowed me in the door. That's the joke, right?
Yep. Party leadership races are where it's at. If you want to have some real influence, make sure that the jerks don't become an option to vote for premier or prime minister in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you stop it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right. So that's what's going on in conservative land in Canada, where they're all fighting. But they're still fighting south of us, too, because they can't seem to elect a speaker.
Yeah, they still, although Jordan, I think, has just bowed out completely, hasn't he?
Bowed out completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it was what they're going on like 18 or 19 days without a speaker. It's like, and they thought 15 rounds of voting to get a speaker was bad. Those 15 rounds of voting, there were multiple rounds of voting in one day. This is nearly 3 weeks without a speaker.
Wow.
Because as there is war in Israel and the United States is its biggest financial backer, and they can't pass any bill whatsoever if there's no speaker, and they still can't get it together enough to find themselves a speaker during war. It's...
Yeah, no kidding.
If there's ever a neon sign pointing to the American public that they are the problem, this is it. It's like, if the Republican Party can't get it together to come to the rescue of Israel, they can't get it together. They just can't. So, and here's the thing with Jim Jordan is he was rejected initially because initially the party had the choice of Steve Scalise or Jim Jordan, and they said Scalise.
Yeah.
Then Scalise bowed out. Then Jim Jordan went.
He's that much better?
Right. Like that much better. Then Jordan, and like Jordan has like people calling them and saying, like, vote for me, and threatening people. Like, yeah, because that'll warm your colleagues over after what they've been through on January 6th, having people calling and threatening them if they don't vote a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You're not very good at this. You missed the people skills part of life, didn't you?
A little bit.
And by the way, one of the first order of business will have to deal with a continuing resolution. And if they had picked him, they would have picked a Speaker of the House who, in the entire time he's been in the House, has never once voted for a single continuing resolution. He's never voted in favor of a single budget. Not one. And he's the guy that's supposed to bring the process home if he was Speaker. It was not going to happen for you, Poodle.
Is he going to bring it home? Bring it home?
So, yeah, it was never going to happen for you, Poodle. So the two main people that they wanted, Scalise or Jordan at the beginning, and Jordan had the backing of Trump. Trump went to bat for him.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
So that means, hey, Donnie, feeling that people aren't taking your calls anymore? Feeling that people aren't laughing as hard at your jokes? They're not finding you as interesting anymore? Don't want to spend as much time with you anymore, visit as often anymore, come to your rallies as often as they used to. Huh. Wonder why that might be.
Wonder why that is.
And now your party is not following your orders. What's wrong, Donnie? What's happening? Are they turning on you? Are people flipping? Are you up at night thinking about it, Donnie? Are you? Huh? Scott Hall flipped. Chesbro and the Kraken lady pled guilty. Huh? Chesbro pled guilty right before jury selection. The jurors had actually gotten the questionnaire to fill out. There are 16 other, including you, defendants in that case, and the jury selection for the big case is coming up. And the best deals, the 3 best deals are gone. You worried, Donnie? How many more are going to flip? that trial that was supposed to
he's
start
he's
today,
paranoid.
the Kenneth Chesbro and Kraken Lady trial that was supposed to start today, is not happening because they both took deals and promised to testify. And it seems that the Kraken Lady, according to Dawn, is never was his lawyer now.
Also, wasn't he disbarred?
Which
I
one?
think there was something to the effect if he was disbarred or no longer had a license to practice law or something to that effect. I can't remember the exact detail. Oh, no. But his new lawyer, though, apparently.
Well, yes. He wasn't licensed. He wanted to file something and wasn't licensed to do something in that state or so. So he had to.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, he's only
what
got
a
the
clown
best.
show.
He's only got the best.
The best people. The best people at being completely inept and useless. Is that a new thing for you there, Dono? Holy crap, dude! That's wow. Wow.
Oh,
did you like that? That was my
that was good.
My Owen Wilson. Wow.
That was very good. So yeah, but they've taken deals, right? And they seem like pretty sweet deals. I mean, probation and a fine and having to write a letter of apology, and maybe Chesper will have a bit of community service, which he's probably going to hate. But
well,
but because I mean, these people are not about serving the community in any way. But those are slaps on the wrists for the crimes for which they were charged. I mean, they tried to overthrow a government, right? So, and I believe that the condition is that they have to testify at everything that they're asked to and be completely and absolutely truthful, or else their deals go away. So, and they're pretty sweet deals. So, I don't know, Donnie. I don't know. I would be worried. And seems he showed up for his New York trial again because he doesn't have to be there. It's a civil one. So he was there for the first 3 days. I guess he got bored and waltzed out and came back the other day. And apparently was got a little agitated while he was there, and he was told that he was told to quiet down by the judge.
I did hear about that.
And then apparently some woman, like Trump fan, like got arrested or something because like during the proceedings, like it's like, Donnie, I want to talk to you. I can help you. I got something or something. And this person works for the court. So you'd think that they would know about breaking decorum that way, but nope.
Apparently not.
Nope. It seems that in addition to all the criminal trials, there's a whole bunch of, there's like 2 or 3 other civil trials that are coming down the pack that hardly any of us have heard of, but they're there. He's being sued left, right, and center by everyone. It's crazy. Jeez. So yeah, things are not going very well down there. And as Beau of the Fifth Column said, oddly enough, this last week was relatively light in Trump news. And that's like people taking plea deals and a couple of new civil cases starting. And, and that's a light week. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Back home. How will we put this? The government of India seems to be a little bit flailing and all over the place with their stuff. And it seems that they're trying to look for an elegant exit, but they keep on tripping all over their damn mouths. So, as you know, the Indian government, because we expelled one diplomat, responded by asking for 41 of our diplomats to leave. And we
That's excessive.
Didn't really get on that.
Mhm.
And then they decided that, well, since we weren't going to get on that, they were threatening to remove their diplomatic immunity, which would then create a situation where the government of India could arrest them and charge them with whatever, and sort of to Michael style. China.
Mm.
So we brought them back with their dependents and left about 21 there. Now they
Well,
have this guy who's the foreign minister, S.J. Jaishankar, and he was
any
defending
relation to
these
Ravi?
governments. Pardon?
Any relation to Ravi?
I don't think so. I think it's Jaishankar, not Shankar, but
Ravi
I
Shankar.
could be
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah.
You know, that's
Um,
what's her name's father, eh? Come Away With Me. Who wrote the
Pardon?
song? You know the song "Come Away With Me."
Oh, yes.
That's her
Yes,
father,
yes.
Ravi Shankar.
Okay. Okay. No, Subramanyam Jaishankar is his full name,
Okay.
but it seems that he goes by S. Jaishankar. Yeah, he was making some comments, and I think we're going to find them a little interesting. Now, the prime minister specifically was very firm. This is them choosing to contravene a very fundamental principle of international law. But they're saying, no, 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 it's not about that. It's about parity. It's about parity, which is very much provided for by the Vienna Convention, he says. We just want our two countries to have the same number of diplomats. It apparently is the line, because, of course, you need the exact same number of diplomats to serve 40 million people in Canada as you do to serve over 1 billion
Right.
in India, particularly when you're a country that has a pretty large Indo-Canadian population and likes to return home to visit family and friends
Mm.
and need visas. But yes, it's about parity. And then in the same breath as he says about it's about parity, he says that we had concerns about continuous interference in our affairs by Canadian personnel. Well, shades of China, isn't that what they always say? And but of course, he didn't say what those concerns were, or cite any examples of interference, even less continuous interference by Canadian personnel. He didn't elaborate, but said that though some information might be coming out soon, and then added to it that it's not safe for their diplomats to do their work in Canada. How? Why? Who's threatening them? I mean,
Yeah,
you
I would
are
like to see proof of this statement. Please
you,
provide me proof.
you are the people who threatened to unilaterally, in contribution of the Vienna Convention, remove diplomatic immunity from our diplomats, which would put them at risk of having terrible things happen to them. We did not respond in kind, yet your diplomats are not safe to do their work? Really?
Mm.
How? Um, they're not very good at this.
No.
You can tell this is their first forays at the international poker table. This is not good enough, because whatever continuous um, interference Canadian personnel may have been doing in your affairs, I am sure that it is absolutely nothing on the level of threatening to violate international law to put diplomats at work so as to lay at risk, by laying the groundwork for coercive diplomacy. It has nothing to do with feeding the press that's under your control with stories about a leader of another nation's plane being loaded with cocaine. And I'm sure as hell it has nothing to do with anybody from Canada killing one of your nationals on your soil.
No.
Sir, you are not very good at this. And
No.
frankly, this is moving from cartoon now to caricature. I know you're looking for an elegant way out, and this isn't it. The government of Canada did everything right in this case. They let you know quietly by diplomatic means long before, and the Prime Minister had the discussion one-on-one with your Prime Minister in private, behind the scenes, respectfully. And it is only after he got the response that he got that he felt the need to share it with Canadians. All the standards of diplomacy were followed. And no matter what you say, and we know that you have an election coming up, and that's why you're doing this. This is for domestic consumption, but you are out of order. This is not cool. It's not cool. And the other nations that you are trying to build relations with who are sitting around the poker table, they're watching you do this. You're not looking good. It's not a good look. You need to stop. Seriously. Their diplomats are not safe in Canada. Come on. Come on. And with the size of the Indo-Canadian diaspora that we have here, as if we can afford to be threatening Indian diplomats and not have a political consequence back here. It's just not serious. Come on. Come on. Please. In Argentina, since we're talking about international stuff, some good news. Remember that picture of that guy with the really, really weird Trump-style hair? Really, really dark hair?
Oh, yes, yes. I do
Javier
recall.
Milei. Yes. Well, they had some elections earlier before to lead to this current stage of the election. I think everybody was surprised that he had won because he's very much a libertarian, and he describes himself as an, I've never heard this word before, anarcho-capitalist.
Arachno-capitalist.
No, arachno? I heard anarcho.
No, sorry, you're right. I got it wrong. My apologies. Yeah, you are correct, yes.
So I've never heard that term. I'm not exactly sure what it means, to be totally honest. But yeah. Everybody, according to polls, thought that he was going to win this race. So this was a presidential race. There were 3 candidates. And if a candidate, I think, got 45% of the vote or finished 10% higher than the next closest rival, they would automatically win. And if not, they go to a runoff. And it seems that all the polls were indicating that Milei was going to win this in a pretty big landslide. Well, turns out that that did not happen. It turns out that a member of the currently ruling center-left coalition, the Peronist Party, which kind of made my ears prick up when I heard that, because Peronista, but apparently they are the mainstream left party. A man whose name is Massa. I don't remember what his first name is unfortunately, for some reason I did not jot it down. I don't know why. He won. He ended up with about 35% of the vote. Milei ended up with about 30, and the third candidate ended up with about 23, Patricia Bullrich. So she is bowing out, and there will be another runoff, I believe, in November, if I am not mistaken. And then, yes, it'll be decided who will be the leader of Argentina. So in a 3-person race, the guy who was expected to win actually finished second, which is a plot twist nobody was expecting. So I don't know if maybe the Argentinians were liked the distraction, but not for the real job.
Well, Argentina's been a bit of a mess for a number of years now, and it's sad because it's a beautiful country. I've been there. I've spent time there, and beautiful people, beautiful place. I'd love to see it turn around.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to call it, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. Not with the current state of government and the state of their economy. It's been in the toilet for a long time.
Well, the inflation rate is 138% right now.
Yeah.
So conservatives,
Yeah.
3.8
Oh, that's Justin
versus
Trudeau.
128.
That's Justin Trudeau. Yeah, no, that's Justin Trudeau's fault, though. You know that.
Yes, well, yeah, Justin Trudeau caused the 138% inflation in Argentina too, I'm sure. Because he's
no, that's what I'm saying. Totally his fault.
He's all powerful.
Totally
just don't let him
just
near a
inflation.
toaster.
Yeah, just inflation. All powerful. He's like the supreme political being, but he's inept at the same time somehow.
Yes. Good. So Sergio Massa is his name. There we go. So yeah, they. Oh my God, there's another picture of this guy, this Malay guy. And again, the hair. I just. Oh. Creator, give
Really
me
bad.
strength. It's just.
What is it with evil people and terrible
we
hair?
keep on saying it, right?
Like they all like. Oh, come on, look, Hitler. Come on, Trump. This Massa dude.
I just
think of all the evil leaders in the past with terrible hair.
Thatcher. And she put a lot of work into that do. Okay. That had
man,
layers
look,
and
there's
things.
The hole in the ozone is because of her.
I sent you a link
dear
because you have to show the photos. They're
the three of them, the Javier Millet and the woman and the other
you
guy.
could show the
is that
three.
The one, or is there?
Yeah, and there are a few more below that are just of Malay, and it's just like, oh my God,
he's really. This is
you
really
have
bad.
to.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me just get this queued up here.
Man, oh man, oh man.
It's really terrible.
No. I know. Oh,
okay, I'm just gonna.
It's cruel. We should not be. But this, you know what? This is not something he can help. This is a choice.
Well, and look, this is the left-wing leader, Sergio Massa. He's a left-wing candidate, Sergio Massa. Let's just scroll down a little bit till we start. Far right candidate, Javier Millet. That's him right there on the right. And let's just scroll down a little bit further. That's a choice. That's a choice. Why?
That's a choice.
Why choose
and the glasses
that?
Too. Together.
Chainsaw wielding TikTok star leads polls in Argentina. This is from 2 days ago. Like, that man looks like a psychopath. There's no blade on that. But if you take a look at it, you see there's no chain on the blade there. Right, so that's he's not going to cut anybody with that. But like, it's a chainsaw with the chain removed. But still, like,
okay, I have to find. Anarcho-capitalism is an anti-statist libertarian political philosophy and economic theory that seeks to abolish centralized states in favor of stateless societies with systems of private property enforced by private agencies. The non-aggression principle, free markets, and self-ownership, which extends to the concept to include control of private property as part of the self. Oh, no.
He looks like somebody from a swashbuckler film from the 40s. Like he's a ship captain, a pirate. Look at like those Sir Johnny MacDonald style sideburns. Like, this guy he's a central casting.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
What I just read, anarcho-cap, that's a thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'm familiar with the term.
Wow, well, I'm going to bed wishing I wasn't a bit smarter. Oh my word. That is a horrible system.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
No wonder. I mean, yes, beware of bad hair and bow ties. Yes, bow tie is usually a sign of a big old dick.
No, remember Tucker Carlson wore a bow tie for a long time. So
did Danielle Turp from the Bloc Québécois. So does Stephen Drew.
The only time you're supposed to wear a bow tie is to a formal event or a wedding.
Now, of course, there are exceptions that confirm the rule. Not everyone who wears a bow tie is a dick over a tie.
Well, it depends. If you
It's
worked at
just that the
Chippendales,
Venn
you probably had a
diagram.
really big.
Yeah, it's just that the Venn diagram really, that's terrible. Really intersects. It intersects. It
Well, this
intersects so
just
much it's
in.
almost intersects.
I just got
But
something in here a second ago. Apparently, there was a shooting in Penetanguishene a little while back, and they just released a sketch of the subject. And I'll show you the sketch of the subject, suspect. Sorry, sketch of the suspect. And I'm like, I've seen this guy before. He lives at a trailer park in Halifax. This is the suspect in a shooting in Penetanguishene. I'm like, that, but that's Julian from the Trailer Park Boys. That's Julian. This is a real thing, by the way. I'm not making this up. It's a police release sketch of man being sought in connection with Penetanguishene mall shooting.
Oh my word.
It's Julian from the Trailer Park Boys.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Hugo. It's Ricky. Julian. Yeah, exactly. Oh my word. Yeah. That actor may want to dye his hair for his next role.
Yeah. Wow. And shave the goatee because.
Ooh, that is
last whereabouts seen at a trailer park in Halifax. Well, this is true, Ree, but except they only showed his face, so they didn't show his hand with the drink, right? They only showed his face, so he's got to have his rum and coke. Is it Ryan Coke or rum and coke that he drinks? Is it Ryan Coke? I think I can't remember. It must be Ryan Coke because it's a Canadian show, right? It takes place in Halifax, so it's got to be a Ryan Coke.
Yeah. Over the weekend too, there's oh darn, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm trying to think. Well, it's because, yeah, I'm going to do that. There's some stuff going on. I'll give you an example a little bit of what's using the States first, and then but similar things are going on in Canada right now. There was a tweet the other day by at T Ryan Gregory said, Trump was in another universe of awful, don't get me wrong, but I have been thoroughly disappointed with Biden and I wish someone else were running. I don't get to vote, but obviously who wins affects more than just America. Then, wow, Biden supporters do not like this. I take it back. In a nation of 330 million, there is no one conceivably better. I find it very interesting that people think I mean I'd rather have Trump or that no one but Biden can win the next election on account of this stunning 40% approval rating. Okay, now here we have a thing where somebody says something, gets some blowback, and then takes it to the ridiculous extreme. Right? I take it back. In a nation of 330 million, there's no one conceivably better.
I think he's going for sarcasm there, maybe.
But... Yes, exactly. Now, here's the thing that I don't get about the concept of Trump was in another universe of awful, don't get me wrong, but I've been thoroughly disappointed with Biden and wish someone else were running. There's no avenue to change that. There's no Democratic race. There's so not a Democratic race that the guy that was trying to start one, RFK, whatever, LMNOP, went off and is running as an independent. There's no race. He's the guy you got. Right? So regardless of what your wishes are, considering that the Republicans are currently eating each other's faces off, why do you want to fill the airspace with, I wish that we had a better candidate? Maybe the reason people are mad at you is because they're going, you're not helping.
Well, what do you think?
If there was an avenue for another candidate going on, you say, I get it, but there isn't. This is the candidate you got. Why are you spending your time wishing you had a better candidate, especially in the context of Trump was in another universe of awful?
Well, isn't
I don't know.
Correct me if I hear so many negative comments about Biden. He's old, he's washed up, he's this, he's that. And I go, isn't his infrastructure bill actually making a difference? Isn't job creation on the rise? Isn't the economy improving? Aren't the lives of the average citizen getting better? Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But as I understood it, this infrastructure bill that he's brought in is going to fix the roads, bridges, and dams that are all on the edge of collapse across the country because they've stopped spending public money on infrastructure in that country for the last 43 years. And it all started with Reagan.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, it is, but they have the same situation as us where there was some, their inflation is a little lower maybe than ours, but still persistent inflation again, and the U.S. Fed has also raised interest rates a lot.
Hmm.
So there's similar pressures down there as there is here. Now, it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just too practical like
Hmm.
this, but in the face of awful, when you only have two options, we have more. But in the
Yes.
United States, you give yourself only really two viable options. It's like, and the second option is merely disappointing
Hmm.
versus a whole other universe of awful. Well, disappointing looks pretty good. I take the
Well,
win and I do what I can to have a less disappointing option the next time around.
and I've had folks say to me, I'm not a fan of Trudeau. I don't care for his politics. I don't care for his policies. I don't care for him. But he's a better choice than the other guys. I'm like,
Yes,
okay, okay, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're
that's
saying.
fair.
That's a fair statement. And there's issues that I like. Trudeau dropped the ball on housing. He said he was going to fix it, and he's done nothing. It's a fact. It's an undeniable fact. Now he's doing something about it now. They are making a difference now. But where were you,
Mhm.
8 years ago when you made the promise? I get it.
Yep.
It's been a difficult situation. I understand that, but you did drop the ball on that one. But
Yeah.
when you have people saying he's the best of the worst, just goes to show you. And I think a lot of there's some predispositions to not trusting Jagmeet Singh, and I think oftentimes it has less to do with some of the things he said and done, and more to do with his headwear and the color of his skin with an older class of
Hey.
Canadians. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Listen,
Please.
if we're going to talk realpolitik
Hmm.
in a nation where the province with the second most number of seats
Hmm.
has a policy that they don't want you in a position of authority if you're wearing an ostentatious religious symbol,
Hmm. Yeah, what does that tell you?
and the people of that political unit, which is the province of Quebec, are not opposing this
Hmm.
as policy, it's going to be pretty hard for you to win a national election.
Yeah,
That's
it's as simple as that, right?
keeping it
That's what
real.
it boils down to. Yeah,
It's
it
going to
is.
be
It's
pretty
keeping it
damn
real.
hard.
Hmm. Yeah.
There's
So,
a context this is happening in.
well, until the Green Party actually selects an electable leader, Mike Greiner, who is the Green
Schreiner.
Party leader, Schreiner, a Green Party leader in the province of Ontario,
Yep.
is electable.
He needs to go federal.
He does, because he can make a difference, because he's a good man. He's
Yep.
a progressive, and he gives a damn about the environment. I wanted to say economy. They're part and parcel of
The
one another.
partner's the same thing. And that's the thing with Biden too. I'm sitting there like this. It's like, dude, he's a decent man. And you know what? Sometimes that's gotta be enough.
Well, and I think in the current
Given the
political
choices you
climate,
have.
that is the best choice. Look, is Justin Trudeau the best leader we've ever had? No. He will be seen as a transformative prime minister, though, because
Yes,
of the policies he's brought in. Yes, he's dropped the ball on a few things. Yes, he's made some mistakes, because at the end of the day, he's still only human, and he's not in control of absolutely everything, unlike what Pierre Poilievre would have you think. There's only so much power the prime minister has. It's not endless amounts of it. That's our system is designed for him to have limited power. He's the leader of his party and he's the leader of the nation, but there's checks and balances in there that limit what he can do, especially when it comes to provincial matters, which is why I say, going back to what I said earlier, the reason Pierre Poilievre supports the CPP in Alberta instead of the APP is because once he gets elected prime minister, which is not a position you're around for, he can end the CPP program by slowly cutting it down to nothing. I'm saving you money. You got a more powerful paycheck now. See what I did? I made your paycheck more powerful. I cut the CPP tax. It's not a tax.
and starved you out of a retirement.
You only have to work till you die, but that's okay. That's how our great-grandparents did it, and by gosh, it was good enough for them. I'm just imagining some of the things he would probably try and say. I don't know that he would say those things. I don't know that he's smart enough or kind enough to say it in that way. He'd probably say, well, God damn it, nobody owes you anything. You got to work. You got to work for everything, just like I did. Suckling at the government teat for 20 years, you now have a golden parachute pension plan that 98% of Canadians don't have access to.
Yeah, but look how much of my soul I sold off. That was hard work. Really?
Sure it was. You have to have one to sell it.
Yeah. Then, like Dan, yes, Mike Morris is the federal Green champ. Mike Morris is also definitely another great Green MP. I believe he's in Guelph, if I'm not mistaken. What else? And you got Kit PNC and Bio here goes, Jagmeet gives me weird vibes because he talks and nonsense sometimes. But yeah, many people don't like the headwear. He gives me weird vibes because he goes back and forth between talking nonsense and sense.
Yes, and that's what troubles me. Is when he goes on about Justin Trudeau, and I'm like, hold on, you know he's not responsible for that. You know that's a provincial responsibility, but you're playing along the Conservative Party lines. Why are you doing that?
And you should
Stop
know more than
doing that.
others. And you should know more than others because you were a provincial politician.
Yes,
There
you
really
know.
is no excuse.
So it's like stop playing from the bottom of the deck and dealing the Conservative cards. It's not cool, bro. Bruh. It's not cool, brah. Come on, man. Don't do it, dude.
Don't do it, dude. So, the other bit of Realpolitik that hit me over the course of the weekend has to do with the fact that the Prime Minister of Canada seems to be taking a lot of heat. It seems primarily more from the Conservative side for not being pro-Israel enough.
Yeah. I saw that. It's like
Okay.
You're either too
Let's
much or too little, or it's a photo op, or come on, man. Come on. You can't win. No matter what he does, they're going to crucify him for it. Oh, I think we lost Mr. Beaver. Did we lose Mr. Beaver? Hang on a second here. Let's just see what's going on. I think he's frozen there for a sec. Oh, they're back. Yeah, we lost you there for a sec. Yeah, no worries.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. So I don't know where it is. I got lost, but with the Israel thing, so you have some Canadians that are claiming that Prime Minister's not pro-Israel enough, and we have some people saying that he's not doing enough to bring attention to the cause of the Palestinians. This whole discussion, and you're going to hear it later in what I'm going to read, but it really is based on the concept that we're starting with the premise that Palestinians are not Hamas and Israelis are not Netanyahu.
That's right.
Okay. The Prime Minister of this nation is the Prime Minister of a pluralist nation, which means that when something like this happens somewhere else in the world, where the situation is as polarized as this is, he has to choose words and a tone that reflect that we have many citizens who identify with either side of the current reality for Palestinian civilians and Israeli civilians. He must not only be concerned with sending the right message to the world as well as to the most immediately concerned parties, but he also has to be concerned with not creating division and increasing tensions here at home, domestically. Those first few days when it seemed that people were celebrating what had happened, there were decisions that could have been made in that moment that it could have caused things to really escalate and people to fight each other here. Fortunately, we made other choices, and that did not happen. But he needs to worry about that. He needs to be concerned about that. There exists no words, and there is no tone that he could choose to satisfy those who are currently the most fearful and or heartbroken. while also not picking one of the two sides to cherish and the other one to cast aside.
Hmm.
We have sizable Arab and Muslim populations and a sizable Jewish population. We can't be making decisions that pit them against each other here. It's a tightrope walk and a balancing act at the same time. Now, the Conservatives, and
Oh,
neither
yeah.
are any other party, but the Conservatives, as the opposition, are not burdened by the consideration of speaking to the world. And though they should be equally concerned about not stoking division and increasing tensions at home, they appear to want to paint the current government, if not as anti-Semitic, at least as anti-Semitic curious.
Mm.
Given the level and the intensity of the tension, it's not like this situation could not benefit from some cooler heads. There are many legitimate reasons for which the Prime Minister cannot go all in for one or the other side. And even though this is a matter of morality, and it's a matter of morality of the highest order, the obstinate realpolitik of the situation remains and does not abate, it does not relent, it does not care.
No.
The morality of the situation has absolutely no bearing on the pressure that comes from the realpolitik of the situation. And that's just the realpolitik here in Canada. In addition to that one, the Prime Minister also has to deal with the context of the realpolitik in each one of the areas that the belligerents, in this case, are a party to. So when everybody was calling for a ceasefire, like within hours of the massacre, come on.
Hmm.
There is no way the leader of any nation anywhere on the planet could invoke a ceasefire mere hours after a massacre as horrific as the one that took place. If the United States did here, we would have never tolerated that. We would have demanded more as people. It's like, that was not an option. I know we want nobody to get hurt. And we know that this has been going on for a long time, and somebody along the way should have taken an off-ramp long ago to try and solve this, but they have not. But you can't have a situation that's being referred to as another pogrom, the largest annihilation in one day
Oh,
of
God, no.
Jews since the Holocaust, and have the government turn around and say, you know what, ceasefire. It's the realpolitik is that was never going to happen. It was never on the menu. And had our PM insisted on that, then he probably would have been laughed out of the room. And a prime minister that does not have credibility or access cannot have influence. So, when tensions are high, a few players who are also in the room who have cooler heads,
Hmm.
few people on the other line, it's not a bad idea. It's really not a bad idea. Now, the leaders who are able to act and comment on the situation while keeping in mind with a cool head that one, reality is as reality is, and wishing that it were different than it is a complete waste of time and energy at this moment. And as I mentioned at the beginning, that Palestinians are not Hamas and Israelis are not Netanyahu. They are the global leaders that are most likely to be the ones that will have the wisest counsel in this time. And given that, our prime minister is probably doing as well as can be reasonably expected given all of these considerations.
Hmm.
But you would not know it from listening to the media. You would not know it. Now, sadly, that also means that those of us that are experiencing this in the most deeply felt way, those who are fearful and heartbroken, regardless of with whom they identify, whether Palestinians or Israeli civilians, they cannot be given an unreserved, unequivocal blanket statement of support. They just can't. And they want one because, as we mentioned in previous shows,
No, agreed.
when things are all crazy and all you want to know is, are you with me or not? Our Prime Minister does not have the luxury of saying 100% to either side.
Mm.
He has to be on the side of concepts like respecting international law and protecting civilians and ensuring that there's aid and ensuring that people who are trapped in Gaza. Now, I mean, there's probably not much that he's going to be able to do to help Palestinians get out of Gaza as this is happening, because even the Egyptians don't want them. But there are foreign nationals there. We have foreign nationals there. There are foreign nationals from 40-something different countries that are trapped in Gaza and who also can't get out right now, in addition to the 222 now, according to Israel, hostages they estimate. And we also have to realize that there's a context here where we've reported that a few days after, people were referring to people as human animals. And on the 12th, we haven't reported this, but
Mhm.
a spokesperson for the military in Israel, Jonathan Conricus, I believe his name is, gave an interview on Power and Politics, and he was asked quite blankly by David Cochran about foreign nationals and citizens in Palestine. And the man was very blunt and unequivocal that their primary mission and their primary goal is to rid the area of Hamas, and every other consideration is at best secondary. They will do their best to protect civilians, and they will do their best to protect foreign nationals and not try to, but every other consideration is secondary.
Mhm.
So we have a situation where in the early days, it would appear that the government Israel was ready to go in all guns blazing and just take everything down. And they haven't done the ground invasion yet. Why?
No, but and they're getting ready to roll in.
Yes.
Like what's the delay? Why are they on pause? Like what's that all
Nations
about?
like Canada reminding them about international obligations, and particularly even the President of the United States, who's needed to do
Mm.
that. Remember, the President of the United States has made very clear to remind Israel, do not commit the same mistakes we did after 9/11. The President of the United
Mhm.
States openly said that they had made mistakes. I don't think I'd ever heard that yet.
No, I think that is the first that any leading political individual in the United States of America has ever admitted to the fact that, yeah, we screwed up.
Yeah.
Lots of reporters, writers, journalists, news people have said it, reported on it, shown us the stories, but that would be the first time a political leader of any stripe in that nation has made a comment like that I can think of.
That didn't get enough play.
If somebody else can think of one.
Yep. That moment of truth, that did not get a lot of play for the importance that it is, but that's major.
Mm-hmm.
2 American hostages have been released. The Canadians and the Americans, and maybe this is completely self-serving given that they have foreign nationals there and they have to do what they can to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
The release of 2 American hostages maybe gave a lot of nations some hope that if the ground invasion was delayed, more foreign nationals could be released, because pretty sure that they're not going to release Israeli hostages because they would be the highest target, highest value ones for them, strategically
Oh, yes.
speaking. And they are not going to let Palestinians out of Gaza. But I'm pretty sure that if there was a way that Hamas could find or an agreement between Israel and Hamas and the government of Egypt to let foreign nationals then Palestine out in an orderly fashion. I'm sure that Hamas would probably not see that as against their interests because I'm sure Hamas would rather have just one nation with some in the background backing, sort of like Ukraine is, rather than 43 all nations saying, you wanted our undivided attention, you got it. Because now you took out some of our nationals. It's not like we haven't already lost some. So if we want to do the righteous anger thing, we could. We've had citizens die. So we have a situation here where the leaders of the 4 other parties in our House and Commons also are aware of what the Prime Minister's limitations here. And they have a choice. They can either play this for advantage by painting the Prime Minister as someone who does not care enough for either the Jewish or the Palestinian peoples. And yes, I'm looking at you, NDP and Conservative Party of Canada. Or they can play this as a solution-seeking exercise where statespeople show up at the table. Now, yes, you're right. Get saucy. Hamas will agree to nothing. They want to eradicate anyone who doesn't think like them, including the Palestinians, yes. But they may see it as a temporary advantage to make just one country really mad and another couple of countries a little bit mad, rather than making 43 countries really mad. If they did it, it wouldn't be out of the kindness of their heart because they think that they should live. Again, realpolitik. But yeah, I'm not liking the fact here that there are people that should know better. And if they were in the prime minister's seat, they would be facing the exact same situation because really, would you really push all those buttons and try to create tension and division here? It's not. We do not have an anti-Semitic government, and we do not have a government that does not care about Palestinian people. And our parliament, as we can tell by the debate, we do have people that are speaking out very loudly for Palestinians, and we have people that are speaking out very loudly. So when you put it all together, the parliament is represented, but people want it from the individuals, right? It's like, your statement didn't go far enough, like that thing at the UN. That's where the Americans voted down the resolution because it didn't state that Israel had a right to defend itself. I mean, come on, man. But that's where we're at, where if the statement doesn't have all the right words or doesn't condemn enough or doesn't, then the other person is not on our side. And we can't do that. This is a time for being able to hold complex, different thoughts at the same time. I do not know what's going on with the visuals. You seem to have come back in time. Oh, slow down. No, I don't. Is everybody hearing me in real time, or am I cutting off, or is it Mr. Grizzly that's just moving slowly for the kids who are watching? Thanks, I appreciate the feedback. So yeah, the leaders of the 4 opposition parties really need to think really hard about how they're going to play this, because there can be some long-term consequences. Yes, and I don't think that in a country such as Canada that is pluralist, that any opposition parties or any parties, period, don't say opposite, any parties should not be painting any other as being somewhat anti-Semitic.
Mm-hmm. It's not a good look.
It's not a good look, and it's not who we are, and it's not what we do. That's just thank you, everyone. Thank you. So yeah, when I wrote that on the weekend, I was a little nervous when I put it out because you never know how things like that go. Fortunately, I didn't get too many potatoes thrown at me, so and a couple of decent words. So thank you. But it's yeah, there's often not a lot of room for the person that wants to make the temperate comment when temperatures are hot. So I'm glad that you kids have taken the time to listen, and we're going to be probably exposed to some horrific things.
Oh, guaranteed.
Because the last time Israel did this type of siege, I think it lasted about 50 days. And even though they've asked everybody to move south, there still have been some bombs that have fallen in the south. And while aid has started to trickle through, it was 20 trucks 2 days ago, 20 trucks. And those 20 trucks, they contained a 1-day supply of water, enough for 22,000 people in a 45 square kilometer strip that has 2.3 million. And I said yesterday the aid continued, but yesterday was just 14 trucks. It's not enough. It's nowhere near enough. And while I can understand Western leaders, saying, well, we can criticize this or we can try to do some positive reinforcement. Why things are going through. And there's part of this that looks a lot like, okay, let's allow 20 trucks in and take a box. See? No, the siege is not 100% not total. See, those trucks came in. Yeah, but I mean, when 2.3 million need water and you bring in enough water for 1 day for 22,000. Come on. The Palestinian National Initiative says 20 trucks of aid to Gaza will not change much. Gaza needs at least 500 trucks daily of fuel, food, medicines, and water. That's her assessment. Overnight, the Israeli government says that they've hit 320 terror targets in northern Gaza. Can there be 320 different terror targets in less than 45 square kilometers? I don't know. It seems like a lot, but okay. The director for the UNRWA, which is the UN agency responsible for Palestinian refugees, he says that after 2 weeks of relentless bombing, the food is scarce, and either in the south you are a displaced person or you are a family hosting displaced persons. And I think, yes, some people are saying, I cannot survive. I will take the risk of going back to my house in the north, and some of them have done that. Israel is saying that its war against Hamas could take months. So far, there have only been small forays into Gaza, some intelligence gathering missions, but no ground invasion yet. The Americans, it seems that according to defense analysts, are asking them to delay in order to prepare for the reaction from Iran and its proxies, and in order to have more time to secure the release of hostages. In other related news, there was a meeting the other night where Joe Biden spoke with leaders from the UK, France, Germany, and Italy, which would be the other 4 nations of the Quint, and Canada. All to affirm Israel's right to defend itself, but they're also calling for the protection of civilians. So, yeah, I'm not somebody posted a tweet sort of like, well, yeah, this time they invited him, but I'm sure he didn't have much to say or do. It's just these people are never going to be happy. But just so you know, there was a kind of meeting of the Quint Nations, and even though Canada is not a member of the Quint Nations because we are not a nuclear trading nation or hosting nation,
No,
um,
we're not a member.
but we were there. So for what that's worth, it's oh man. In better-ish news, the resolution of the situation of the child welfare settlement with Indigenous children could happen today. There was a deal that was struck, and it had to go to the federal court to be approved. So the federal court is going to decide whether to approve the settlement. It's a historic settlement for First Nation child welfare. It's a multi-billion-dollar deal that would provide compensation to more than 300,000 people, all of them affected by underfunded foster care and other family services. And as a former foster child, that was not under that system. The system wasn't very, very rich for us, so I can only imagine if it was underfunded from what I experienced, what it was like. Probably not great. The proposed agreement comes with a request from the Prime Minister to issue a public apology, but it seems that the timing of that, there's a dispute on when that should be. According to Cindy Blackstock, who we still hope to have on the show, but she's just very, very busy for this case because it just keeps on going and going and going when it should have been over long ago. Says if the Prime Minister is going to apologize to First Nations and children and family, then the words need to be backed up by action. She says, quote, Ottawa needs to prove there is no more discrimination. You know, what we teach ourselves and what we teach kids in our families is you apologize after you stop the bad behavior. And the problem is that the bad behavior hasn't stopped, according to Blackstock, because she's recently submitted complaints to the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal exposing ongoing issues with the on-reserve foster care system and other First Nations family services, including barriers to funding. She says, you can't just pay compensation, then continue the discrimination that led to that compensation payment in the first place. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Otherwise, you're just treating it like your friend says, well, this is just how much it costs to park. This is just how much it costs to treat Indigenous foster children. You're just going to keep doing it. Not cool. Not cool. Now, according to Manitoba Regional Chief Cindy Woodhouse, who led the child welfare negotiations for the Assembly of First Nations and who we mentioned, I think, on Friday, recently announced that she was putting in her candidacy for AFN National Chief. She wants the apology to be done now. She says, our kids have been waiting decades for an apology. We have to do the work. The work has to get done. The asks have to get put forward. So, a bit of disagreement. I would, I can understand both points of view, actually. It's been a very, very long time. An apology now would be good, but if an apology has happened now and the behavior is continuing, how much is that apology really worth? So I think Miss Blackstock ultimately might be the more correct, but there is no doubt that an apology, hearing the words, would probably be beneficial, would do a lot of people a lot of good, even if the actions are not following. But it's almost like giving people like a quarter of a loaf. And given that they've already gotten the quarter of a loaf pretty much all their lives, especially their childhoods. Let's say all their childhoods, not all their lives. Why continue? That's this, yeah. We have to do right. We have to do right. So these groups are urging the federal court to greenlight the $23 billion in compensation today. And if it is approved, it would be the largest legal settlement in Canadian history. So this is a very, very big deal. But you know what? We did terrible things. And the bill always comes due.
Well documented.
Eventually, the bill comes due.
They're all well documented.
Yeah. All right. Tiny little thing here before we close. Sorry. Yes?
I have something for you.
Yes, please.
That's. Let me just. This is. I don't know what to make of this. So it's 21 seconds. I just watch, and then we'll disturbing side.
What? Do we really want to see this?
Can you see that?
I see it. I'm asking, do we really want to see it?
I'm a little troubled, but
okay. You know what? I can't judge because I come from a culture that have the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. So,
oh yeah, I just don't know what
I'm.
about that.
Hey, it had a nice beat and you could dance to it. Well, I mean, disturbing. Like,
well, if the insane
really?
clown pun. No, it's not ICP. It just said if ICP decided to go super creepy vibes with it. That's facial tattoos, by the way, not makeup. That's tattoos.
Whoa. Okay, that's commitment. That is commitment.
Delay here. I got some.
Wow.
I've got some bad issues here on my end. I have to wind it up and close it down. Borking right now.
Okay. All right. Then let's do that. All right. Kids, that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Morning Show. We hope that you love listening to us because we loved making this for you. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. And you have the mouths from whom we want the word to come. So please let your peeps and poops know all about us. You know what? Let's tell random strangers on the street. Just, you need to listen. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Some people may not take kindly to that. But you get the spirit, right? Yes, like, share, and subscribe. And you can do that thanks to the Ray Girl, at least for our pod page. So if you scan that squiggly right there, well, that will take you right to it. That's podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver, lowercase letters with a hyphen between each one of those words. And that way you do not have to miss an episode at all. When it's fresh off the bandwidth, it will come straight to you. And since you like subscribing, well, why not make like Kit Elaine? And there she is, right on cue. Have a beyond awesome day, everyone. And remember to smash the button before you leave. I'm wondering if she has that one like on a control paste, because it comes up very fast. It would be very efficient. I don't know if she manually types it every day because it always has the 2 coffee cups as well. I love it.
Whatever
but
works.
Yes, if you go to our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube page, we have 3 buttons: like, share, subscribe. And if you smash them, then, well, well, that makes us very, very, very happy critters. So please do that. We like that very much. And if you would like to encourage us to do more, or if you would just like to send us some encouragement or tell us how much you like the show, well, right up there by Mr. Grizzly's head is a little squiggly that you can QR that, and that will bring you to our coffee page. That's coffee, ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, lowercase letters all in one word. And that brings you to our emergency hydration fund and our tip jar, basically, where you can make a little contribution to keep our voices and vocal cords so moist so we can deliver a wonderful show for you. And given that Halloween's coming, if you want to put a couple of candies in there for us, because I like candy. I really like candy.
No, thanks.
So
None
I'm
for me, thanks.
trick or treat.
None for me, thanks.
I'm also up for some tricks if they're fun. But but if you would like to donate some candy to the Beaver, then that would be great too. From your Beaver Lodge, this is the Eager Beaver saying, it could be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. Mr. Grizzly, some words of wisdom, please. Yes, no apples, Tabby G. No apples.
Remember to breathe. It's something I need to do right now. Remember to breathe. I'm terribly wound up. I think I'm a little anxious at the moment and incredibly irritable. Like everything is irritating me right now, which means that my mental health is taking a turn for the worse. So breathing is good. That means I will be doing an ASMR show this evening at 9:30 to talk through what I'm going through right now. Hopefully I won't still be going through it at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when I deliver the show, but yeah, I'm not at my best right now. Hopefully I can change that soon. We'll see.
I hope so too, my friend. We have Miss Sadeka that says, been listening, but also distracted by the cute Mateo. Hello, my friend. How are you? And Kitsasi says that Osiris is giving big smiles to Mr. Beaver. Hey there, little one. How you doing? We're going to be big friends. All right, Mr. Grizzly, please roll the credits. You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum. And the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. I like that. Miss Sadeka goes, Paul and Douglas inherited a whole giant family, instant uncles of our kids. Oh, we've got beaver babies. Beanie babies? Beavy babies? No? I'll work on it.
It's a bit of a stretch, but sure.
I'll work on it. My friend, just to tap in, because Miss Sadeka says, I hear you. That was me last week. I've had some real ups and downs in the last month. I actually had some over the last few days myself, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is one of the reasons that my beaver sweetie brought me flowers the other day.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Man. Yeah, because I'm usually pretty chipper and whatnot, but yeah, I too as well. So just wanted to let you know that I feel you, and I hope that you will feel better very soon.
Thank you.
I was pretty emotional, and when you were getting irritable, I was just more like almost like the why doesn't anybody or anything love me?
No,
type thing. So they're bad, bad days. We have them. So in an effort to send everyone off with a smile, I heard a great joke the other day, and I thought I would put it up. There are three storks. They're talking to each other. The first one says to the other one, says, "Oh, I'm going to have such a great day today. I'm bringing this baby to a couple that's been trying for 10 years. They're going to be so happy." The other stork goes, "Oh, man, you know what?" I said, "Me too. I'm bringing a stork to a
baby.
single lady." I'm sorry, the stork said, "I'm bringing a baby to a single lady like this who's wanted to be a mother all her life. Oh, she's going to be overjoyed." And then the third one goes, they go, "What are you doing today?" He says, "Oh, I'm flying by the convent." What? Says, "Oh, I got nothing for them. I just like freaking them out when I fly by just as I approach."
That's good. I like it. That's good.
All right.
That's
Have a
good
great
one.
day, kids.
Write it down. It's a good one. Before we go, I'm November is an incredibly busy month for me, so I'm trying to nail down a podcast date. The 18th is out. It's out. I'm booked.
Okay.
I'm out of town that weekend. The 11th, well, that's Remembrance Day, so
Also my
no.
anniversary.
Yeah, so no. The 4th is that's going to be no. I'm in Toronto that weekend, so 25th. If we're going to do one in November, that work for you?
I think that might be the day of my open doubles bonspiel.
Okay, so yeah, it's November might be skipped just because our schedules aren't really going to work out this time.
Yes.
So
Or it might
yeah.
have to be a Sunday, because if it is the bonspiel, I couldn't do the 25th, but I could do the 26th. But
Okay, we'll tentatively pencil that in for the 26th.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
weird
I mean,
month.
what folks don't realize is how much work goes into setting up, tearing down, and doing the production. When I'm finished, when I get home, I don't unpack anything till the next day because I'm physically exhausted at the end of it, physically and emotionally exhausted. I'm not complaining. I'm not, because I love to do it, but it does take an awful lot out of me. That's why doing it on a Sunday, like this weekend, I feel like I didn't have a weekend at all. All day Saturday, we did the podcast, set up the tear down, the organization. Plus I was helping to set up the new studio. And then I spent yesterday with my folks, and it was wonderful, but I was helping them out with some stuff. I didn't get home till almost 8:00 last night. So yeah, just there's a lot of other life stuff I didn't get done. And that's part and parcel of doing the podcast. It takes your whole weekend. And the 26th, and then having to work on the Monday, it's...
But Kit Linda had a great suggestion here. If James isn't back, do a casual Beaver Friday.
Yeah, maybe we could
do a
that.
casual. We could do a casual Friday if we can't find a date for November.
Maybe do that instead, because November it's super tight. I realize December's not going to be much different, but November is really tight right now. So yeah.
We'll figure it out. Don't
we'll
worry.
figure it out. Anyway,
Yep.
That's it for now, kids.
All right, kids.
I'll see you soon.
Oh, kids, Tim, there you are. Hi.